Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be going over how you can use any texture that has an alpha to create sort of a stamp or a decal to place them on top of other objects or other textures inside of Cinema using Redshift. So what I mean by that is this pothole right here, these lines along the middle and these sides, these are all stamped on top of this asphalt texture, and I can move them around freely however I want, all inside of Redshift, and I don't have to go and re-export a texture or anything like that. So all of these textures are from Megascans. So if I hop over here, all these textures are free from the Megascans library. I'm using, where's they at? I believe I'm using this cracked asphalt right there, this painted line right there, this painted road line right there, and then where was the asphalt patch kind of pothole thing right there. So you get all these assets free, and you can follow along and create a scene just like this and do whatever you want with it. So let's jump in and show you how I was able to do this. So I already have the scene set up here just as you saw right there. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the Redshift texture. So if you want to set this up, just go obviously create like a plane or something, add a Redshift object tag because we're going to be using displacement. Go to the geometry and then click override and enable your tessellation and displacement. I have my maximum displacement set to 5 and my scale set to 3. If you don't know how to add Redshift object tags, just right click and then go to Redshift and then object tag right there. But that's how you set that up. And then if I jump in the shader here, you see I have a bunch of textures loaded there, but the actual shader graph, if you see, if I can grab this handle here and open this up, there we go. So I have a bunch of textures just piped into the different material stuff and then combined and layered on top of each other. So right here I have I jump over to my general without it freezing. I have my base, albedo map, and then I have the painted lines here, and then for all the rest of these, other than the base albedo map for the asphalt, they all have a second texture, which is just their opacity map. So if I click on all these, you can see I have their opacity maps all set up there. So just go to your textures, drop in the texture thing right there, just like that, and then load up your textures, and then you need a color layer node. So this is the node that I'm using right here. So you can use a material blender. So if I go up here and drop this material blender, if I set up all these as different materials and then pipe them in just like I would normally into the different diffuse and all the different channels there, you can do it that way. I think this way works a little bit better. It gives you a little bit more control and just looks a little bit better. But you can do it the other way, but I'm not going to be doing that in this video. So as I said, just drop in yourself a color layer, and you can see it's got a bunch of different outputs. I have some enabled, so I enabled 3 different layers here, and I just have them piped into each other. So like I said, the albedo for the cracked asphalt just in your base, because that's the bottommost layer and that's what we want to be having stuff stamped on top of. And then from there I have the road lines, and that's just in the color, and then obviously the opacity map is piped into the mask. Now if I look at these, I have them set to add. If I bring up my render view, let's turn off bucket and I drop it over here. If I change this to normal, it's set to normal, you can kind of see, I don't know how well you can see that, drag this kind of off screen. If I go to add like I have, it makes this just a little bit brighter, and I like that a little bit better. So I have mine set to add, but you can use that however you want and set them to whatever is going to give you the best look for your scene. So the big thing here that you want to do, and the reason that I have these textures set up this way, is because we're going to be using the different properties inside them to make sure that they don't wrap on so you can move them around and so that they don't wrap along this, and I'll show you what I mean here. So if I were to set this, I have this wrap U just disabled here. If I turn that back on along with our wrap V for the opacity, you can see I have the lines going, you know, just wrapping along the V axis of the UV. So we don't want that, so I'm just turn those off. If I go ahead and disable those, then I have my scale set so that the lines are not as fat and that there is enough of them so that they are spaced out properly. And that's just by doing the scale. So the lower you go, well, I don't want to say that. You'll just have to play around with it just because it'll stretch and distort your texture a little bit, but it's perfectly fine for what I'm using it for here. So then I have the offset. If I were to crank this, let's set this to let's set this one to negative 0.45. You can see if I also set this in here, the opacity map, you can see it shifts along, so you can move that along and offset that however you want. I'm just gonna go ahead and undo both of those. We got one, there we go. So you can do that as well. And if I look at the actual pothole right here, which is on the bottom, I have this set to be rotated as well. So I can change this rotation. See, it's kind of changing along with, actually, I can select both of these and rotate them or not. Okay. I set, what did I have this one set to? Let's set it to 40, and then I set this one to 40 as well. You can see that it's now moved as well. I don't know why it doesn't look exactly correct. Either way, that's how you can, you know, rotate your things, and then you can move them as well along. Why is this not going back? Set it back to 60. Now it looks back to normal. So you can move them and offset them as well, however you want. Just using that, I just wanted to place it over. So if you see, it's kind of slightly over the line as well. That's because I have the pothole as the top layer in the stack, or I guess it's the kind of the bottom one, and right here. And I actually have it set to normal because I don't want it to. If you set it to add, it's going to take the information below it, the texture information below it, and it's going to kind of take that into effect and make it look different. I just wanted the pothole to completely overtake the asphalt texture below, because, you know, it's acting as it's breaking the asphalt texture. So that's why that one's set to normal. But it's on the bottom of the layer stack, which means it's the topmost texture. So if I were to drag this offset over, so it's covering up one of these lines or this line over here, it would also cover that up as well. So keep that in mind for when you're layering up your different textures. But I also have the displacement, and actually let's go over the bump here first. So I have the bump set up a little bit differently. So I have my texture nodes set up, because if you just bring in a normal map and you try to pipe the texture into the texture right there, you won't let you do that. So you can't actually, there's no way in this normal map to, if I click on advanced, there's no way to actually rotate them, which is what I needed for, I believe it was this texture. Yep. So to have this rotated and have the bump map in the correct place, you have to have the same rotation. And I did not actually, did I not set this correctly? Maybe I didn't. Oh no, so, wait, did I not? Now I got myself confused too. Did that change? I think that did change. Set this to bucket mode. And we'll take a look at the little redshift tip here. So too, you can take a snapshot just by clicking that button. And I didn't even realize that I had that messed up. I'll set that back to 0 and see. So it should have been set to 60. So Let's jump back. And if I take a snapshot of this as well, now I can jump between the two. I've changed slightly, but you can see it is messed up. So, oops, I didn't actually want to close that. So that was a mistake on my part, but it should be set to 60. And then you can change the textures there to have them rotated so they align perfectly along with the texture as well as the alpha map that you have set right here. So you can't do that with the normal mode or the normal map node, so that's why I'm not using that. And then I just have that color layer that I brought in here as well, and then just pipe that into your bump input and your Redshift material. And then down here I have my displacement setup. So again, if I click on these, I have my displacement set there. This is just the displacement from the asphalt texture up here. I didn't want any displacement or bump from any of these different textures, the different lines in here, because I just felt like it wasn't really necessary, but you can add those if you see fit. But if I click on this bottom one here, the displacement is set correctly on this one for the rotation, but this is the pothole. So the displacement is in right there, and then I have, again, the opacity map just pipes into the color layer, and then it's set to normal as well, again, because I want the pothole to actually cut away from this. I don't want it to be affected at all from the asphalt texture below it. So it's just completely overtaking that spot in the texture. So then you pipe that into your displacement map, which you can also get from your utilities right here. Just grab a displacement. The Displacement Blender didn't work exactly the way that I wanted. If you pipe this texture into if you pipe a texture that has an alpha into the displacement, it's not really going to work, and it will come up with, if you set the blend weight up, it'll come up as just a square with your texture inside. So obviously you don't want the square showing up, you just want it being displaced where your actual texture is at. So that's why I'm not using the displacement blender right there. But if you have just two, if you're not doing any sort of rotation or scaling or anything like that, then you could use that just fine. But anyways, that is how you set up all of this lovely stuff to create any sort of decals on your textures for whatever you want. You can use this for a multitude of things, but I thought this was a good showcase to be able to see what you're doing, as well as you can grab all of these assets, like I said, from Quixel.com, the Megascans library. You can get a free account. They're all free, and you can get all of these to follow along with. So hopefully this helped you out and you guys can create some pretty cool stuff. It's not too difficult to set up, and it's definitely something that's very powerful. That way you don't have to hop back and forth between any sort of programs like Substance Design or anything like that. You can just export your maps and then layer them all up inside of Redshift and art direct your scene from all inside of Redshift and Cinema 4D. So thank you guys for watching. I have a bunch of more videos on my channel as well for a bunch of other Redshift tips and Cinema 4D tips. So feel free to check those out. But thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.